In this video, I want to explain the different versions of Bootstrap and also give you an introduction of the Bootstrap website. Now, throughout this course, I don't really go much to the Bootstrap website, but it's very useful to know how to navigate through the Bootstrap website to get some of the more advanced stuff if you want to, and also to refer to the original documents and maybe look at what are the latest changes in Bootstrap. So the first thing I need to mention is that there are two versions of Bootstrap that are really popular online right now, and that is Bootstrap version 2 and just Bootstrap, or Bootstrap version 3. So Bootstrap version 2 is still in use. I use it for some of the applications as well. This is how Bootstrap version 2 looks like. And if you Google for Bootstrap or you go to getbootstrap.com, this is how Bootstrap version 3 looks like. Now, it's okay for you to use Bootstrap version 2. In fact, for most cases, it works perfect. But the main difference between Bootstrap version 2 and Bootstrap version 3 is that in Bootstrap 3, the creators of Bootstrap decided to revamp everything to make it mobile first. And that is a significant departure from Bootstrap 2, because the thinking with Bootstrap 2 was about how to build a site or how to create a CSS framework for websites and then modify that to cater for mobile devices. So the default version of Bootstrap 2 comes with a non-responsive theme, and then you can add on a different CSS file to make it responsive for mobile devices, including tablets. But with Bootstrap 3, the main focus here is on mobile devices, and you can disable the responsiveness. Everything in Bootstrap 3 is responsive by default, which means that it will automatically resize or modify itself based on the size of the screen and also the type of mobile devices that you're using. Okay, so what we are talking about throughout this course is Bootstrap 3. Just in case you get confused and you end up on this side, there's a lot of differences in the CSS and also the structure of Bootstrap 2 and Bootstrap 3. So don't make the mistake of trying to use Bootstrap 2 or referring to this site. You should refer to this one that you see here. Okay, now with Bootstrap 3, which is at getbootstrap.com, this is the main site. So you can read a lot about Bootstrap here, and you can download Bootstrap. And this is only the basic simple version of Bootstrap. You can also follow Bootstrap on GitHub, and you can click on View GitHub Project over here. And through the GitHub page, when you download it through the GitHub page by clicking on Download Zip, you actually download the master files of Bootstrap, which contains a lot of stuff, including some of the stuff that is totally useless for you in terms of trying to build a site, and a lot of the stuff that are still in testing phases and so on. So I recommend that if you actually want to download Bootstrap, you can just download the basic version. But again, to follow throughout this course, you don't need to do this. I've already downloaded Bootstrap and included it throughout your course materials. Now, don't download the latest version of Bootstrap and replace your course materials version with the latest version. Some things may not work. But generally speaking, if there's a lot of difference between what I provided in the course material and the latest version of Bootstrap, I would have updated the course material, just to be clear on that. Now, in the Bootstrap website, you can click on Get Started. Okay, so this is basically an explanation of how Bootstrap works, how to install Bootstrap, and well, you can see a lot of complicated stuff, the basic structure of Bootstrap. Okay, you can click on CSS. So under CSS here, Bootstrap really highlights the basic stuff about how to use Bootstrap, how to call or how to format your HTML document, the different how the grid system works like. So you may find this useful or not, but I will do my best to explain whatever you see in this website in a non-technical and as a way that is as fun as possible. Okay, so if you find this confusing, don't worry, you don't really need to read this stuff. So over here you have some navigation items. So for forms, you can get the basic CSS for creating a basic form and advanced examples like inline form. Okay, now let's go up again and let's click on components. So under components, you have the different types of elements or objects that Bootstrap uses. Again, you can click on the navigation that you see here. So you click on drop down and it gives you an example of a drop down button and variations. So really you only need to go to the Bootstrap website if you just want to find out the different variations that you can use to even create more advanced versions of what I've provided in the course. Next, under JavaScript, well, these are also components, but the difference between components and JavaScript is that the components that are listed under JavaScript would require you to include the Bootstrap JavaScript in order for it to work, whereas stuff that you find on the components or CSS would work just by using HTML and CSS. Okay, so there's some elements here as well that you can click on, and then you can click on customize. So this page actually allows you to download a customized version of Bootstrap. This is if you want to run lean in an actual live website or application, and if you decided that you don't want to use some of the elements here, you can uncheck those elements. For example, glyph icons, well, we don't really use it in the course, we use Font Awesome, but I have included it anyway because the course is just for practice. So the version that you have in the course actually is a complete version that has, well, everything. But just in case you want to customize and download a smaller version of Bootstrap, you can do it here. Okay, so that's all for introduction to Bootstrap. And again, remember, if you find yourself referring to this version of Bootstrap, this is an older version that is not covered in the course. We refer to Bootstrap version 3, which you can get at getbootstrap.com.